Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Geek Cause Podcast. Another week, another dollar that we'd spend on doing this podcast. Because we make nothing from it.
Just $1 is what we spend.
Yes. $1, which is like 89 cents in euros.
Yeah. Give or take.
It's still called cents in euros, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So that's weird. That's confusing. Like, if I wanted to give you 50 cents, you wouldn't know if I was talking about euros or if I was talking about American cents.
You could swindle me out of a deal for all I know.
You'd be... This is a dumb opening. Well,
I guess you could say it makes no sense.
So, everybody, what we're going to be talking about today, a lot of movie and show stuff. We're really hitting those topics today. A couple of trailers that we're going to be talking about, including a game that maybe not many people follow as closely as some of us do, but Death Stranding. Very interesting game.
Interesting is a word.
We have the Gears 5 developers talking about how purchasing cosmetics are so ahead of the curve.
Oh, so ahead of the curve.
Microsoft, who has no plans to release more exclusive Xbox games on other consoles. Classic WoW and how that's doing currently. And then we go to all of the interesting topics on our movie stuff.
From the controversial Spiderman Trabacle.
Trabacle? Why do you call
Bringing that back.
I don't like the trabacle. I think that's a dessert. I think
I'm referencing a podcast now at this point.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's only not just me messing up. As well as all the D23 announcements. And a brand spanking new, shiny Star Wars Episode 9 trailer. Which is quite fitting, because it's episode 9 of the podcast.
It is episode 9 of the podcast. You'll be talking all about that, because I just refuse to watch it, because all of the Star Wars trailers always spoil everything.
Oh, yeah.
Trailers nowadays are terrible. That's a whole nother discussion that we can get into a different time. But, away from that for a second, let's talk about your life. How are things going, Kyle? How are things going within the life of Kyle?
People's most anticipated time of this podcast is when I talk about my very exciting life.
Yeah, everyone always just rants and raves. Do you actually have something this week? I feel like there's got to be something.
I don't think so. No, it's so sad, but I don't think there was anything really. Seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood yesterday.
That was good.
That was excellent.
We should have a quick chat about that real quick, because I saw that as well with my wife, and thought it was weird, but a good film. We won't go into spoilers here, so don't anybody worry.
Yeah, major spoiler, Snape kills Dumbledore.
Come on, somebody's gonna get mad about that now. You know that, right?
Oh, yeah.
Somebody is actually going to get mad at that.
How old is that now?
It doesn't matter. Someone's still, because that's like such a pivotal movie point. God, you've ruined everything. Anyways... So yeah, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Why don't you give a little description of what the movie's about overall?
The movie follows Leonardo DiCaprio's character, Rick Dalton.
Who isn't a real person, right?
No, he's not real.
Yeah, not real at all.
He's an aging Hollywood star in the 1960s.
That, is feeling his stardom slowly vanishing before his eyes.
And his best friend is his stunt double, Cliff Booth, played by the fantastic Brad Pitt.
Oh yeah, he did really good in this movie.
Fantastic job. And the movie pretty much just revolves around them dealing with pretty much Hollywood.
Hollywood at the time, yeah.
The main character of the movie would be Hollywood. Now Hollywood treats them more so than anything else.
I would say that the movie takes a couple twists and turns throughout its runtime. Major ones being near the end, but
yeah,
there's several that go throughout it that you're kind of like, oh, this is gonna happen this way, and then you're like, wait a minute, I didn't expect that to happen. I didn't expect this person to start doing this here, and I will say it gets very like intense at some parts out of nowhere, and that's how you just know that it's a Quentin Tarantino movie. Yeah. Is that it just for no reason
just gets
sparks
really
of violence
intense.
And stuff, and it's just like, why? I mean, overall, you know it's a movie done by him because he was able to take a story that's virtually about nothing and create a story that's about nothing, but make it somehow still relatively interesting.
It's like, oh, let's just take the day-to-day of an aging, like, washed-up actor and make it a really intense, interesting story. And really, it should just be, oh, he goes to a TV set and then goes home and gets drunk and gets up the next day and goes back to the set.
Yeah.
That should be it. But somehow he makes more out of it.
Some of the cuts in it, too, were, like, really well done. Like, some of the shots that they had, like, so basically, they would kind of splice certain parts where it would be, all right, it's like the movie itself, and then it would be the show that he's working on in the movie or whatever,
yeah.
And it would, like, go through whole scenes of, like, him playing as his character or whatever, and then, like, then the immersion would break, and he'd be like, oh yeah, I forgot, I wasn't watching that Western film, like, that cheesy Western film. It's something completely different.
And when they go to shoot, like, the actual scenes in the movie, like, the movies in the movies, it's like, you're not watching them shoot the scene, you're watching the scene. The camera turns into the camera work that's going to be done in the scene, in that reality. It's like, without spoiling it, there's a bit in it where he messes up a line. And the camera pans around one of the characters and he messes up a line. It's like, okay, let's go back. And the camera slides back around to where it was initially.
Back to where it was initially.
And repeats it.
And there's a couple parts where, like, the characters are, like, doing something, but then you find out that it wasn't something actually happening, or it doesn't explicitly say that it's not something that actually happened, but you kind of, like, get to gather yourself of whether that was their imagination or whether that actually happened in the past or something. Or, like, if it was like, oh, they were thinking about what would happen when it comes upon it. It was very interesting. I've already said this before on the podcast, I'm sure of it, but I'm not a huge Quentin Tarantino fan. But there are some decisions that he makes in his movies that are just like, okay, yeah, it's good.
There's some, like, places where he just doesn't do wrong.
Yeah, and I think it was really well done. I mean, obviously Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio are going to make anything amazing as well.
Oh, yeah.
So I was surprised at how much of a lead Brad Pitt had in the movie as well.
Yeah.
I thought it, like, when I first saw him, I was like, oh, he's gonna be like a side character, but no, he was like pretty integral to most of the stuff going on.
I'd say fairly equal to Leo's part in it.
Yeah, at least equal.
At least.
But overall, I give the movie a 7.5 out of 10. Because all of the parts I like about it, like, were less about the movie's plot itself and more about just, like, the things that happened in it and, like, how it worked. But everything else was, like, during plot wise, it was just nonsensical. Of course, it always is when it comes to Quentin Tarantino's movies. So, like, but definitely I would watch it again, like, on TV or something like that, or I'd recommend go giving it a look, especially if you already like those type of films.
Oh, without doubt.
And it had some really funny parts in it as well, like pretty funny,
pretty humorous.
Yeah,
I'd give it a solid 8 out of 10. Really good character movie.
Mm-hmm. It's all about characters. If you're looking to watch a movie that's about, like, the plot and the story behind it, it's kind of like, it's whatever. It's made like how it is. But if you're looking for, like, the character development and, like, the arcs that happen within the characters' lives,
then this is the movie for you.
Then it's a really
because the entire movie is nothing but about the characters' lives.
Yeah,
that the world around them doesn't really impact them directly.
Yeah, it's showing characters influence, like, and like what immediately influences their world and how they immediately influence the world, but not, like, the outside aspects of what happens.
Yeah.
I think that was kind of one of the parts I didn't like, though, is that there's certain characters that it would show and it would go through little arcs that to me had no relevance whatsoever. Like when we got into like the parts with Sharon Tate. And, like, it starts going through her, like, little mini arc of, like, her going through her stuff, and I'm just like...
Yeah, well, that's the thing I actually want to say. A lot of people are going to go into this movie expecting a fair bit of it to be about the Manson murders.
Right.
Because obviously that's made out to seem like a pretty big thing in the trailers and things like that. But Charles Manson and the Manson murders and Sharon Tate, in the movie, they're not very much characters as they are... Cody's like getting ready to crouching tiger attack a fly here.
It's annoying me. Anyways, go on.
Sharon Tate and like Charles Manson and all that is very much more of a staging device than a character.
It's more
so, instead of going, oh, August 8th, 1969, and the audience going, what happened then? If you go, oh, it's the year that the Manson murders happen, the audience immediately goes, oh.
Yeah, people, I think that the reason why they did all that is to make it seem like the Manson murders and stuff were going to be more of a influence on the story, and that's fine and all, but like, God, I hated like the 5 to 10 minute slog of Sharon Tate going up to the movie theater and like getting into it and watching the film with her in it. I hated all of that because then it went nowhere and it was just it. Like nothing else involved her pretty much. The rest of the movie. I mean, like that's not that big of a spoiler, but like pretty much like you get like little traces throughout the rest of it.
A cool thing though that they did is that all the footage of Sharon Tate that they show in the film is from her actual movies. It's not Margot Robbie dubbed in, which I thought was pretty cool.
I thought that like when I was watching, I was like, oh yeah, for sure. That's definitely like the actual film. You can tell.
You could take that as even deeper commentary that her watching her own movie, but them being two separate people is just a nice little commentary on how actors are fake.
Yeah. Well, that's
that they're never the same person.
That's kind of an underlining thing that you see there. Anyways, kind of a little theme that goes on when it comes to the hippies. But anyways, overall, yeah, it's a decent movie. We definitely, it sounds like we both would recommend watching it. So yeah, I don't know how that spawned from you. Oh, based on what you did, you saw that movie.
Yeah, I saw about it. That's what I seen.
Well, I don't have anything too exciting to talk about myself. Except for, yes, I did see that movie.
Oh, really? You couldn't tell.
Yeah, and I also, you know, the stream's been going good. I've been getting people in there and stuff like that. I started last night Classic WoW that came out, which we'll be talking about more later. I'll just say real quick that, yes. It hits all the right spots for me. It hits all the right spots for me, and I enjoyed it, and I streamed it. Got a little bit of interaction from some people, not too much. I mean, it's gonna be hard going for a while because everyone that's gonna look at it is gonna be checking out all the big streamers. But overall, if you want to check that out and you just want to kind of like a really chill experience because I'm not gonna be I'm not like going super hard. I'm not going intense into it. Come check me out at mixer.com/thegeekcause-Cody. And you can join our Discord and see when I go live. I have like stream schedule up, switching it up. But I'll be switching between chill games during the day, and then at night I'll be playing WoW with my brother-in-law. But yeah, it was fun. Overall, though, the week has been pretty tame. It was mine and my wife's anniversary.
I seen that.
Yeah, I'm glad that you did.
I was like, was that Tuesday or Monday? I honestly couldn't remember.
And we went out that's when we saw the movie. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I think is what it's called, right?
Yep.
Is that the full title? It is the full title. It's such a specific title.
It's Once Upon a Time ... in Hollywood.
We went and saw that, and we had a sushi dinner. It was lovely. Ooh. We enjoyed our time. First year, married.
No sake this time?
No, I didn't drink this time. But better not to go down that route. I will say, I had cuttlefish sushi, and it turned me off. Luckily, I ate most of the other stuff first, but then I went to that. There's like this creamy texture to it as I was eating it that I've never had inside of sushi. That was like the fish's. It was. Creamy. This is the way that I described it. This is the way I described it to my wife, as I said. I described it to Becca by saying it was like I put the cuttlefish in my mouth and then it came in my mouth. That's what the consistency was like. And the flavor was just fishy, obviously, but it was not pleasant. I don't like cuttlefish, I found out.
Yeah, no, I don't see how that's very appetizing.
It wasn't. It wasn't very good.
You've turned everyone listening to this off cuttlefish now. The
rest of the sushi was delicious. But after eating the cuttlefish, I literally could not stomach the rest of the sushi because I just kept thinking about the cuttlefish jizz in my mouth. So,
gonna
gross.
Edit that same bit out and take it out of context.
But yeah, that's all we've done in our life. So let's just hop right in to the topics.
Starting off with good old Death Stranding.
Death Stranding. Everyone's favorite game that they know nothing about.
I mean, each trailer goes by, you know less instead of more somehow.
You know so much less because like, it sounds like we're just like making a joke, but in all honesty, the more that you watch of it, the less you know because it throws more parts at you that make less sense than the last. And so you get more parts and you think that means that you understand it more, but it's more parts with stuff that just is nonsense. And so then you actually understand so much less of it.
It's a big game of trying to like connect the dots pretty much, but you've no idea if you're right. And if you try to use any normal logic, you will never connect the dots.
No.
You gotta think like a madman to be able to try to draw any connection of any of the details that we've gotten so far.
Yeah. There was basically it was a 4K trailer that came out for Gamescom, and it shows invisible babies, characters that I don't know who the actress is for that character.
No, her face looks familiar.
She's
though.
very familiar. I think she's been in some stuff recently. She kind of reminds me of the girl that plays the one hippie that talks to Brad Pitt's character.
Oh, yeah.
Like
I can see that.
The same mouth makeup. I'm gonna have to look that up and see afterwards.
Yeah,
but,
that's gonna annoy me.
But there's like some invisible baby, and there's crying involved for some reason every time Sam's character is crying whenever like certain things happen.
Just really odd. And then there's the 4K gameplay trailer we got as well alongside with this, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it came out I think, a couple days before.
Where he's talking to himself?
He talks to himself.
Norman Reedus is calling himself Sam.
How's it going, Sam? Or something like that.
But I thought he was Sam, so is Sam the baby? Is he the baby? What's going on? Why is there babies?
See, the thing is that's weird about this is that I think that people... we know that the game is going to be at least somewhat good because it's Kojima, and every game that he releases, at least gameplay wise, is at least somewhat good.
He always bats like at least a 7 out of 10.
Yeah. Now the story, though, I think if he's purposely trying to make it weird, which his stories have always been kind of weird. They've always been like even like the Metal Gear games have had weird tinges to it.
Just look at Metal Gear Solid 2.
Yeah,
that was probably the worst of them.
That was nuts.
Memes.
Good game though.
Oh, great game.
But if you look at his track record, yes, he does weird things and people tend to enjoy it. But I'm getting worried now as more trailers come out that he's going more into the weirdness and it's not going to play benefit to the game. Like, okay, in the game so far we've seen that at some point there's combat and there's upgrades to your equipment and stuff like that you can do, and you can, I think there's a crafting system as well.
It seems the looks quite similar to how Metal Gear Solid 5 handled, like a smoother Metal Gear Solid 5 with how like the combat goes and how he's moving and stuff like that.
But then you have these parts where it's like, okay, he sleeps and you can wake him up and it looks like it's part of a mechanic actually or something.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to have like survival aspects to it as well.
Yeah, he has to piss, and when he pisses,
a holographic mushroom appears.
You see the there's a character interaction in the gameplay trailer, and like after he talks to the character, like he's saying, like he's kind of like everything's kind of fine, normal conversation. He goes like he interacts weird with the map system, and it makes more shit happen. Fine, whatever. It's just kind of like weird futuristic stuff.
Yeah, that kind of looked like like an Assassin's Creed viewpoint.
Yeah,
he just kind of unlocked the map of that region by going there.
Yeah, but then afterwards, like the character interaction was like really weird. The character was like doing, and like okay, you can say like yeah, it's a Japanese thing or whatever, but no, it was meant to be weird because he like does a different pose, says something like kind of like in a very specific way, and then Norman Reedus' character Sam says something back to him in a very like specific way, like like nice to have met you and stuff like that, like really specific, not like how his character even seems to act at any other point.
Yeah, it just seemed like really weird.
It's a game that I'm hoping that Kojima isn't trying to push we know it, like the weirdness is part of.
Oh yeah, it's going to be really weird no matter what.
But I'm really hoping that he's not hoping that the whole aspect of it, the pushing point is going to be its weirdness, because you're going to turn off so many people that aren't going to understand what the hell's going on, that even if the gameplay is pretty good, which, looking at the gameplay, it doesn't look like revolutionary or crazy amazing.
But it looks fun.
It looks fun. So you have to hope that the balance that they have there is going to be working fine.
I think another thing, with Kojima, it's going to be extremely weird that this story seems to be the weirdest that he's gone with yet. And the fact that we're only kind of pieced the story together and the world together and the lore together through a handful of trailers that really only consist of, okay, here's 3 minutes of one specific scene, makes you kind of more confused than anything. When you think about this game that could be a 100-hour long game, we've seen about 10 minutes spread across 100 hours, and we are trying to piece that together.
Yeah.
So when we get a clearer picture, these really weird things that stand out and make you kind of go, but why might tie together a bit nicer in the actual thing?
It might.
That's how I'm kind of thinking about it, that it's really weird now, and that it's still going to be really weird, but it'll be weird in a way that kind of makes more sense. Like the Metal Gear Solid games make no sense whatsoever. They're so weird, but at the same time, they do make sense.
Well, see, the thing is, the Metal Gear Solid games, though, they always initially make sense, and then they start drifting into weird territory. That's always how they've worked. It's always been, like, missions that go on, make sense, you understand the missions, you're trying to, like, worry about
it's like starts
spies,
off,
like
standard,
coverts.
like, covert military op, and then,
and
my
about
god!
halfway through the game, you start seeing characters that's like, oh, they have powers, they have, like, these things that they do. Oh, you find out that the plot is actually, there's, like, triple agents that are doing certain things. Like, it goes into weird. My issue is that this game looks like it's gonna start off weird, and then at the end of the game, it's going to tie it all in together, which can work, right?
It can. Oh,
if people feel like going through 100 plus hours of trying to get to that point.
Yeah.
I was I'm looking at stuff on like Reddit, like some comments of what people have said, and like one of the people said, and I agree with this 100%, is honestly, I've never been more interested to see what a game actually is, while simultaneously being completely uninterested in actually playing it. Like, I don't have the need, like, I feel like I don't have the need that I want to play this game, but I want to know more about it still.
Yeah.
So it's weird that they're crossing into this territory where it's like, that's how people are going to think, is like, I want to see what happens and I want to know more about it. I want to read about it. I maybe want to watch a video. I want to do stuff, but I don't actually want to play it because it just looks like this is the thing. It looks like the story is going to be really weird, but then interesting once it all ties together.
Yeah.
But those are actually the type of games, though, that are sometimes the least fun to play if you don't do it right.
Yeah. It's a very hard target to hit.
Because I know Kojima's making a game for his mind and himself.
Yeah.
And if people want to take part of it, that's what he's doing. I know Kojima, that's how he's always done it.
Oh, yeah.
He's done stuff for himself because it works and he knows other people like it. But the thing is, he always had Konami in the background. They are shit. They're a shitty company. They're assholes to their employees. We all know that. But they were still in the background reining in certain things, right? They had to have been there doing that.
Yeah, they kind of kept him on a leash.
So I'm not saying that he's worse off now because of that, but I'm wondering if he's going so far off the rails because it's available to him
that
now.
He has too much creative freedom, that Sony giving him his own studio and like free reigns of everything is kind of...
I'm not saying it is going to. I'm saying
unshackled a beast.
It could make it so it's just something like really crazy that's actually not going to tie in as good as like everyone's hoping.
Yeah.
I mean, I would love to watch gameplay of it. I know so little that unless more comes out, I know so little on actual gameplay mechanics. And I know he's trying to keep it hidden, but I know so little that I'm not, so far right now with what I've seen, I'm not interested in playing the game. I'm interested to learn more, but I'm not interested in playing it.
I'm the same. I'd be interested in watching it like a movie.
Yeah, watching a movie, or I'd watch someone stream it if like, but the thing is, I also think some of the mechanics look like they're boring as fuck.
Like, I'd sit down and I'd watch like a 3-hour long video of it.
Yeah.
If it's like, oh, here's all the conversations and cutscenes and interactions in the game in like a movie format, and we're cutting out all the gameplay parts in between.
Any gameplay parts that happen are like integral parts.
Yeah. I'd rather watch that at the moment than actually play it myself.
Until I know more. I'm not saying that the game needs combat to be good. There's plenty of games that don't have intense combat that are good.
Just need to see more gameplay.
But I need to see, more than just putting up a ladder once in a while. Or using a baby to, like, scan the environment.
Yeah, I need some actual gameplay.
Let me get some meat.
Like, release a 10-minute video, because clearly it's just...
But they have!
Like, it's like a Postman service. Release a 10-minute video of him, like, you walk across. After the 3-minute mark, he gets in a fight. You go a little further up the 3-minute mark. Oh, you have to do it survival aspects. The 3-minute mark, something else.
Yeah.
And it ends. Show, like, a little bit of everything in one cohesive video.
Instead of just, like, certain parts and being like, does it make you think?
Yeah.
Does it look cool? And it's like...
Like, have your team just create, like, a scripted event that will happen in the game for 10 minutes that you can release as a video.
Yeah, there's gotta be... Listen, if pissing somewhere and then creating a holographic mushroom has an effect on the game, that's awesome. That's, like, really weird and funny, but cool if I know what effect it has on the game. But seeing it happen just makes me go...
I read somewhere that it can be used in combat.
Peeing?
Yeah. That when the creature things come after you, apparently peeing helps in some way. I don't know in what way. I don't know if it's something to do with the mushrooms.
We need to have more detail before we can accurately judge this game. But as of right now,
I'm excited for it. I'm very confused by it.
Yeah, I'm excited.
But I'm not waiting to play it, but I'm waiting to see it.
Yeah, for sure. On from that, we have Sorry, I can't even get it out. So the developer behind Gears 5, I forget who does it. Who even does Gears 5?
It's a different. It used to be Epic.
Now it's
the Coalition or something.
Yeah,
isn't it?
I think the Coalition or something. Yeah, something. Somebody.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're a Microsoft company.
The developer behind Gears 5 believes that they're going to be setting a trend in how AAA games monetize players after launch.
Oh.
Now, let me tell you what trend they think they're setting. So, they've talked to a couple of people and saying, listen, we're doing a very player-centric, player-friendly way of doing customization and monetization. We're having no loot boxes. And so, even then, when you get to that part, you can start thinking, alright, that's not, trend setting, right?
Not trend setting. That's just good, but not trend setting.
I mean, maybe it's a trend setting something that's old, an old trend, bringing it back where you don't have loot boxes, but you're not setting a new trend, right? And they say, we're not going to have loot boxes. What we're going to do, and it's something crazy that we think we're setting a new standard for that pretty much that making it seem like no one said it before is you're going to be able to buy cosmetics and you're going to be able to buy and earn cosmetics and buy or earn a currency to purchase those things by playing the game, but no loot boxes. So it won't be random. You'll be able to choose based on the currency that you earn or put in what you want.
Oh, so I can play the game, earn this currency, or spend money on this currency just to buy things.
To buy something.
That is revolution. No game has ever done that before. Ever.
It's
been sarcastic if you can't tell.
This is what it is I think it's hilarious that they think having purchasable DLC, do you want to call it DLC or not? I mean, whatever. It's a cosmetic item for the game. So they think that making it so you can outright buy a cosmetic item instead of having loot boxes, they think that it's revolutionary. Not that because they actually think that it's something I think actually revolutionary, but because they're trying to make it seem so cool that they're doing that and that they're not using loot boxes. Yes. Which is, yes, you're not using loot boxes, but
what they're doing, is good. The way the industry is going back to how it used to be, where if you want to buy something with real money, you just buy that item with real money. It is a good move. But what they're doing is right, but claiming that they're ahead of the curve with it. It's you're not. It's how things used to be.
Oh, you can earn, you're telling me you can earn, credits or whatever you want to call them to also, purchase the stuff? That's really awesome. Really cool for people. You're not setting anything new.
No.
And the more you try to make it seem like it's a new trend that's being set instead of something that's always been available to people and doing, the less you're going to make people want to be a part of it.
Yeah.
Because they're going to think, this trend might not work. This trend might not work. It used to work perfectly fine before. Look at this though. Just listen how, they sound so grandiose when you listen to them. Cleveland said, we were sort of reading the tea leaves, I guess, and we were one of the earliest to adopt card packs inside our game. We thought we'd done it quite elegantly in Gears 4. Some people liked it, some didn't. Some people didn't. There were other companies and other games that would have done it differently than that people were less happy about. They put card packs or something in Gears 4, right?
Yeah.
And they're saying how they read the tea leaves for that, and it was saying that they need to do that. And now they're reading the tea leaves and they're figuring out this is the next step. We just have this intuition telling us that we think that players want to be able to purchase their stuff instead of having a chance to purchase something that might give them what they want.
It's like reading something online going, people don't like loot boxes, they'd rather just pay straight up. Oh my god, I just had a great idea. I think we should get rid of loot boxes and have people just pay for it straight up.
You can't make this up. They say, we put the challenge to ourselves. Can we still provide purchasable things to players that want to purchase and still have the rest of the players really enjoy the game? That was a challenge we set right from the beginning of Gears 5. So you're telling me before you
It's not
even
a challenge!
before you even started, like, the actual development of the game in seriousness, you thought of a way to make it so people could purchase the items that were going to be in it without loot boxes.
I can imagine, like, a team of, like, 20 people sitting in a boardroom, like, how are we going to do this?
So we're going to develop this game, right? We have no mechanics on it. But before we get into that, how can we develop a way for players to still buy what they want without getting loot boxes, since those seem to not be popular?
It's like, I wonder. And then, like, John the intern comes in, like, has a cardboard box, and he's like, right, imagine this is a loot box. This costs $10. Then he opens the box and takes out some toys. And look at these toys. Now imagine they cost $2. And instead of buying the box, you could just buy the toy.
And you guarantee the item, and it's for a cheaper price, but we can still get the returns back for the full 10 for people buying all of them.
Meanwhile, everyone in this boardroom is like freaking out, like, oh my god, this is amazing!
Oh my god, he's the smartest man I've ever met.
Get that man a raise!
Life. I don't know. Like, the last part here is, they kind of say is, we just felt that loot boxes weren't a good fit for Gears. Why'd you feel that? Probably because the fact that literally everybody is saying, stop making it seem like you came up with this idea. Everybody has been saying this.
It was all our idea.
We wanted to be ahead of the curve looking for possible solutions. Even before all the controversy. You wanted to be ahead of the curve looking for possible solutions to loot boxes? How about no loot boxes?
That's a good way to do it.
There's a solution. People can still buy this shit. Stuff that they've been able to do in multiple games for 10 years. What is it? Guild Wars 1 had it. Yeah. Guild Wars 2 has had it for the last 10 years, almost, or 8 years now. We have Call of Duty has had it for at least 7.
Like, it's by no means new.
To make it seem like you're trying to be ahead of listen, I'm all for you taking this chance to switch over and try to make it so people will follow suit. But stop making it seem like you're the one that is creating this idea of no loot boxes because you want people to play your game because you're so revolutionary for doing that.
Because you are the greatest.
You're making yourself look like an asshole for thinking that you know like everything that people want just because you want people to pay money because you know no one's going to buy Gears 5 because no one cares about Gears anymore.
I do.
No one cares about Gears of War.
I do.
Who played Gears of War 4?
I did.
I bet you did.
I did.
You would play Gears of War 4.
I did. I loved it.
Yeah, you probably would. Gears of War 1 and 2 were revolutionary for their time. Gears of War 3 was...
3 was good.
Alright. It was good.
3 was emotional.
And then 4... But 3 was the end of an era, so that's why it was emotional.
Yeah.
And then they were like, here's number 4. And then everyone was like... I don't know. Like, yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, we still get some of the same stuff, but fine. And then they said, Gears of War 5. We're gonna make it weird, too, because all these games that are weird and popular do good. And they started having, like, weird shit happen. And you watch a trailer and you're just like...
I'm waiting for them to have the Funko Pop game be canon to the Gears of War universe. That Gears of War 6 will come along and it's... You know, normal Marcus Phoenix with, like, little Funko Pop Marcus Phoenix fighting side by side. All I'm saying is, don't make it your game seem more awesome than it is, because you're somehow setting a trend for something that should have been done and it was done way before, and it should have just stayed that way. Yeah, like, you're a Microsoft studio. Microsoft Studios have done this before you, even.
Yeah.
So, just stay quiet about it. Do it. You're a good person for it, but just...
Say you have no loot boxes. Take the nice bit of information nice bit of, like, positive that you're going to get from that.
You did get praise for that alone.
Just say, we're not going to be doing loot boxes. And then everybody can cheer, and you can feel good, and you don't have to try and make it seem like you're some sort of trendsetter.
It's ridiculous. But from a Microsoft studio to Microsoft themselves... Microsoft has come out and said that they have zero plans to release more exclusive Xbox games on other consoles.
Now the reason that they're saying this is because they had acquired some studios that had obligations to still release items that they already said that they're going to put out on certain systems. So, such as Ori and the Blind Forest Definitive Edition, that was already scheduled to be out for Nintendo Switch, even though the studio was purchased by Microsoft recently.
Yeah, so pretty much all it is that the games that they've been releasing on other consoles are pretty much just because, we bought this company, so we kind of have to...
Yeah, they had obligation. they told people that they planned on releasing it for that, and if we buy them and then say, you're not releasing that, then we're gonna be looking like assholes.
Yeah. Which is nice of Microsoft. They're acquiring these companies and sticking to the word of, the company.
For sure.
They're not just buying them and taking over and being like, no, this is ours now.
But I mean, they also know in this like climate for gaming that it wouldn't go over well.
Yeah, no.
I mean, look at the Epic stuff that Epic Store is constantly being lambasted all the time for things that like people switching over there and not allowing it to still be on the other thing, like the other platforms.
Yeah.
But Microsoft was saying, we'll honor their commitments to other platforms, but they're going to be pretty much stuck as first-party, games on our consoles and not anybody else's. And it says, we continue to believe deeply in cross-play and progression of games with the right flexibility for developers. So they're pretty much saying, we're not releasing these games, our games that we plan on being strictly Microsoft exclusives on anything else.
Yeah.
So don't think that that's going to happen. But we still encourage cross-play and people being able to play with each other that are on different systems and all that stuff.
Yeah. And it should be said that when Microsoft say that they're going to have games only release on their system, that doesn't just mean Xbox, it does mean PC as well. So when they they say their platform, it's both Xbox and PC, because they're one and the same now at this point for Microsoft.
Yeah, because of
with game sharing and stuff like that.
With game sharing, and then they have xCloud coming out where their IPs are going to be accessible for other devices as well as PC,
as well as the new Game Pass for PC that was released.
Yeah, they're still. So my takeaway from this is that it's it was nice of them to to have them still do it. We know why they did it.
Oh yeah,
because they didn't want ill will. It was nice of them to do it. It sucks that they're not going to keep going about that and saying, oh, look at maybe a couple titles will be exclusive to Microsoft, but
I feel like that it probably was a plan earlier in the year, because Microsoft over the past year very much seemed to be kind of ditching the idea of exclusive games.
Yeah.
As more and more time went on, they kind of started to throw it away. But I think with Sony pushing exclusive games harder, as well as acquiring Insomniac Games recently, which is a pretty big company when it comes to games, and saying that they're going to make games exclusively for PlayStation, I think Microsoft have kind of tightened
up, and they said, we were ready to play ball. See, this is the issue. This is how the companies can keep making people eat out of their hands, because what happens is this happens every other year or every other 2 years, is one studio doesn't want to play ball with the other studio. And what ends up happening is then you have these studios, one looks better than the other one. I feel like they do this on purpose to be like, okay, this year you get the more player base. Because how it works is it's always before Sony was all about Microsoft. Stop being so strict. Let these games be crossplay. Let's have more freedom for our players. Let's do this. And everyone was like, oh shit, Sony's so great, Nintendo's amazing, all these players are so great. And then now all of a sudden Xbox is like, we're releasing all this stuff for everyone to play at the same time, and they can crossplay.
Yeah, it's like, we're gonna crossplay with PC and the Switch and then all these other consoles, but not PlayStation because they suck.
and then PlayStation's like, oh boo, that's a bad idea. We're going all exclusive. That's the way to go. People want to buy our stuff. And then Microsoft is like, haha, you're dumb, you're for doing that. We're supporting the gamers, and everyone's like, woo, Microsoft, woo, you're doing it. Oh, you're so great, you're amazing, I love you so much, Sony, you're an asshole. And it's just, it goes back and forth all the time, and it makes you really wonder, do they have plans set up on their calendars of when they're going to say these things?
Do frickin' Phil, is it Phil Spencer? He's the head of Xbox, isn't he?
Yes, I think so.
Does him and the frickin' head of PlayStation meet up every month and be like, okay, so who's the bad guy this month?
Yeah.
It's like, are you going to do it this month? Because I did it last month. I don't want to do 2 months in a row. But if I do 2 months in a row, I want 2 months in a row as well.
Yeah. Back when Xbox One was coming out, okay, we're gonna have DRM, we're gonna have all this stuff, we're gonna announce that, right? And then PlayStation's gonna come out and they're gonna say that there's no DRM or anything, and it's gonna make us look bad. But then we're gonna say we're canceling it all because we're listening to the player base, and then we're taking away all that DRM, constant online, all that stuff, and then everyone will love us again.
Yeah.
And then that's exactly what happened, and that's exactly what happened completely all over. Is then all of a sudden it was like, oh, they listen to their players, they're so cool. And it's like, oh my god. They honestly, I feel like they set this stuff up, but.
They honestly could. I like to think they don't, just because Phil Spencer, the head of Xbox, I respect him so much because he had the balls to take over as head of Xbox after the last dude and the Xbox One disaster and pretty much fixed it all.
Yeah. I mean,
like, I like to think that he was just a good person and wasn't all orchestrated by our overlords.
Unfortunately, I think anybody that's a part of the top 1% probably doesn't have everyone else's best interest at heart. Because I'm sure that Phil Spencer, who, I'm pretty sure that, who in, 2018, had a salary of 1.4 million and his net worth estimated of 7 million. I'm pretty sure he doesn't have the consumer's best interest at heart. Unfortunately, as much as I would love to believe that he's just all about consumers, something tells me that somebody that, literally in 1 year makes 1.4 million, more money than most people will make in their entire lifetime.
Yeah. And met that in, that period of time, because he only took over as head of Xbox after the announcement of the Xbox One. So he hasn't even been doing it for that long.
No, but he also had a massive sign-on bonus when he started.
Oh yeah, because...
of millions.
Yeah, because the company was in shambles
and
after.
They were like, please take this position, save us, we'll give you a massive sign-on bonus. Just like all CEOs and owners get whenever they first come into something.
At least he did save them.
So I mean, yeah, cool. I'm sure he's providing something beneficial to consumers because maybe he's like, I'm a halfway decent guy. But something tells me that I don't completely discredit the fact that some of the things that he does might be beneficial more to him and his company.
Yeah. Maybe.
But moving on from that, talking about people doing something that's beneficial for themselves is Blizzard.
It's a good segue.
Who, for the longest time never wanted to open WoW Classic servers because they said, we don't have the technology that from back then. We don't have, the time. People don't want it. They won't play it. It's a waste of our time, our money, and our resources. Why would we do that? You think you do, but you don't. All of that good, controversy that came from WoW Classic. And then now, after, 4 days before they even, 4 days ago, so it was 2 days before the game actually was, publicly released, they had to open even more servers because there were severe queues at launch. And let me tell you, these are nuts based on the server queues that I've been looking at. So,
really?
This game has been so wanted and so against what they thought the hype was that it's nuts. At certain points in the day, every single realm that they have, which they opened up 6 new ones recently, and then there were, I think, 12 to start off with, so I think that there's somewhere between 12 and 18, I believe.
Alright.
12 and 18, maybe somewhere between 10 and 20. And they said, we can't open more because we don't want to have to close servers later when people leave. Well, at certain points in the day, all of these realms are full. And by full, I mean, some of the most populated realms, the realms that have, streamers and stuff that people want to be a part of, or they know everyone's going to migrate to and stuff like that. People have seen queues as long as, 3 hours.
Jesus.
3 hour wait time. Over 2,000th place in queue, waiting for a position to get onto the server. It was so bad that during its release, when because you have to just have a subscription and then you can play WoW Classic.
Yeah.
People were having a queue to subscribe. There was someone was placed 300 in a queue for their payment process to go through. This game is doing, it's going so much harder than they could have ever imagined, and they were not prepared. Funny enough, talking about, the Burning Crusade, and that's one of the main villains there says that you were not prepared. Well, Blizzard was not prepared. And this just shows that they could have been making so much money from having this for so long, but because they were afraid of losing money, they refused to do it.
I wonder how much, like, have they released any numbers yet on how many people have played at launch?
Well, I'll tell you this. I went on last night, and I started playing on, I created my character. I first started playing him, me and my brother-in-law, and we streamed it, and I came on, we created our character.
Yeah.
And the starting, we both made dwarves. We said, oh, we'll be like dwarven brothers. It'll be cool. We both got into the starting zone. And this was on one of the servers that they just released. And it was during a time of the day where this server, it said the realm population was low.
Yeah.
And we got on, and there were so many people in the starting area that, like, we would have to wait to get a kill on something and for something to spawn, and we'd have to immediately start attacking it, because once one person tags it, if they're not in your party, it's not your kill. It doesn't count. So it was like loading. I looked around, I was like, oh my god, there are so many people. There are so many people. It's been so bad that like I didn't see like a specific myself. I did see a couple things where there's like a couple people waiting for like certain items to spawn, and then they'd like pick them up. But I saw pictures where people were waiting in lines, so that way they could get an item that like has a respawn timer, or kill like a boss mob for a quest.
Like actually just lining up.
Actual lines. And they would just wait in line. And then one person would go, get the kill, leave. One person would go, get the kill.
At least they're organized.
And like, I'll just say that's not a joke. If I could go onto a low populated realm, and me and my brother-in-law are still like looking around hoping that we can find a kill.
What's it like?
In a level 1, between a level 1 and 10 zone, it's nuts.
That's mad. What's the capacity of the realms?
They haven't said.
They haven't said the capacity.
No. I would assume...
But if it says low for you and you're going on there and it's practically packed...
I would say that at least... I think like that they made sure there was open up space for somewhere around 150,000 plus people.
On each individual one? Not
on each individual realm. No. If that was the case, there'd be no problem.
Yeah, I was like, what?
No. But like total, like that was a number that was thrown around before they opened up more servers. But right. you gotta think, Twitch during release and like for the first day of release and up until the next like 24-hour period, on Twitch, classic WoW, I don't know if they made a category for it actually yet. I know that Mixer has, but WoW had over 1 million viewers on it, and it had higher than Fortnite and Fortnite was for the first time not number 1 place since Fortnite's release.
Jesus.
For viewership. So, who knows how long this will last? So, a lot of people will get tired of it because it is way more of a grind than retail and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I really wanted to talk about how the fact of they just totally did not see how what the want for this was for so long.
They just underestimated it completely.
And
like they probably made so much money. Like how much is a subscription?
It's $15 for, if you could buy it per month, it's $15 per month.
$15 per month.
Or €12.99.
Like, say like minimum $15 among hundreds of thousands of people.
Yeah.
Like that's a lot of money.
Like some of these people already had their subscription to, like WoW in general, and that gets you Classic automatically. But
like we know the numbers of WoW has been dropping steadily as the time goes on, so...
But now imagine having, even if it is 150,000 new, even if it's only that.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll do some quick calculations here. You do 150. If everyone plays for 1 month, they just pay that 1 month. In that 1 month, they've already got $2.25 million.
It's $2.25 million in a month.
For 1 month. And then, even if you cut the number of people, let's just say that over a period of time, half the amount of people of 150,000, so what is that, 75,000?
Yeah, I think so.
Let's just say 75,000 players are only going to be on there.
Half them drop, which would be big.
And they stay for a year. That'll be a little over 1 million every month for a year. After 12 months of doing that, they've made 13.5 million for just...
So half the numbers. Half of their pretty much max capacity of what it used to be anyways. they're still making 13 million a year.
They
off something that's like nothing to them.
Something that they literally just, I mean, like, they did, I'll give them this. They did have to work hard to get a lot of the net code. They had to take it from, and like, I'm sure that they did a lot of stuff to get the codes working up, get stuff set up.
Like, get optimized and things like that.
But overall, but now they don't have to do anything except for release these updates and make sure they come out fine, and that these updates are just like phases of classic WoW, and it's gonna be just like they did back in the day. Yeah. So it's going to be easy for them because they already have an idea of what it's like. It's not like a new thing
It's not a
out.
case that they have to make new content. It's like, oh, we just have to re-release old content and make sure that works.
And so barely anything needs to be put into this in terms of like additional resources or like funding on like trying to figure out new. The worst part of like creating a game and dealing with it is coming up with new content and getting new stuff out there, right?
Yeah.
Having that already set up for you and all you have to do is make sure that you get it set up right to release that. That's all that matters.
That's easy. Especially like, what else is Blizzard doing at the moment?
It's like, there you go. I could not have predicted this any more than I knew it was going to be big. I didn't know it was going to be that big.
Yeah, you said it was going to be big.
But I knew it was going to be big. I had the fun with the 3 hours that I played, and I can't wait to play again, to be honest with you. It's a fun game. We'll take it. We'll keep tabs. I'll keep tabs on this for us, and I'll over time.
Please do, because I'm really interested in this.
I'll keep tabs, and I'll see like what goes on and what they end up doing and how they end up keeping it up. But yeah, I thought that was an interesting little tidbit to talk about for something that was supposed to not be that popular, according to Blizz. Literally, if you don't know, there was a meme for a while because somebody had asked that one of their things, hey, like, what are the chances that we could get like a vanilla WoW or like a classic WoW sort of flavor? And like, what are the chances of that ever coming up? And this was like 4 or 5 years ago, I think.
Yeah.
And they literally, they said like, are we ever going to get something like that? And literally they're all on stage and like the guy goes, no. And he goes, and here's why. You think that you want that, but you don't. And just like went on and started telling him about why you didn't want all these things, why they weren't important to you, even though there's private servers with thousands to hundreds of thousands of players on it that were doing it.
I suppose to like the developer and head point of view, you could kind of go, okay, yeah, you wouldn't want that. Not really. Yeah, because they probably look at other companies that have done it and past stuff that they've done and it not getting the response that they expected. So they'd probably be like, yeah, no, you're just saying this, but you don't actually mean it. Because everyone's saying like, oh, we want it how it used to be. It's like, you don't mean it really, though.
Oh, you want bugs back. You want this stuff back. You don't really want that. But the thing is a lot of people are like, but that was the WoW that we
liked,
that we got in, that got you the biggest player base of MMOs in all of the world.
Yeah.
And like, to be honest, in my opinion, the first 3 expansions were the peak of World of Warcraft, and then it all went downhill.
Yeah. Some might even say that, like, those, like, I'd say first 2 expansions of WoW were almost like the peak of gaming.
Oh, yeah. Well,
like, as a whole,
the Burning Crusade and Wrath of the Lich King, those two expansions are what, like, Wrath of the Lich King, I remember sinking so many hours into.
That was, like, revolutionary. The impacts of that are still felt today.
The story, yeah, everything about it. And so, yeah, to think that sending your people back to be able to play through this and like relive these moments in just a little bit different of a way with more people and like different ways to interact with the world is stupid.
It's like saying content as the past, but with the community of the present.
Yeah.
It's like a dream.
Yeah, they've been missing out for so long, but maybe it's a good thing because then you got more and more people that are now talking about it and are excited.
Which is good. But moving on from what you know a lot about to stuff that I know a lot about. We've reached the half of the podcast that consists of movies and TV shows. So I get to take the reins for once.
I mean, there you go. This is your baby. I still have a say in a lot of this stuff.
I still have a lot to say.
But
this is my time.
Your time to shine.
Ooh, gonna crack my knuckles. So, last week we mentioned how the Marvel-Sony deal dissolved with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And it was quite sad, and that we told you to keep an ear out because there could be some developments over the next week.
Was there a development?
Oh boy, was there. So D23 was actually that week. I didn't realise it. And, of course, Tom Holland and Kevin Feige and all of Marvel were present to announce a bunch of stuff. But Tom Holland was flagged down by interviewers asking what's going on. Is he out?
As he should.
And pretty much Tom Holland outright said it that Spider-Man is out of the MCU. But he is going to continue to play Spider-Man in Sony Spider-Man movies. He said we had 5 great movies, obviously referring to his 2 solo movies and then the Avengers appearances. It's been 5 amazing years. I've had the time of my life. Who knows what the future holds, but all I know is that I'm going to continue playing Spider-Man and having the time of my life. The future for Spider-Man will be different, but it will be equally as awesome and amazing, and we'll find new ways to make it even cooler.
I mean,
and that's coming from Tom Holland. It is very doubtful. So you think, okay, it's Tom Holland saving that, but we still haven't got any word from Marvel themselves. That's still a thing, right? But then Kevin Feige also was flagged down at D23 and was asked about Spider-Man.
Right, of
and
course.
He pretty much said we knew this was something that was going to happen.
At some point.
He said...
it wasn't supposed to last forever.
Yeah, that was a quote. He said that we knew we had a finite amount of time with it, and he's happy with what they got, and that they told the story that they wanted to tell. So he pretty much bid his dues to Spider-Man in that little statement.
So when we were talking before, we kind of, we said it was a money thing. We blamed money. We said that it was definitely something that could have been avoided. But I did some more research actually, and I found out more about it. And apparently, this is way more of a Disney fault than we could have ever anticipated.
Well, there's a lot of things, because I've been reading a lot into this as well.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of conflicting reports as well, from what I've seen.
Yeah, there's a lot of conflicting information, but something that I saw was, now, this part's true. Disney had somewhere around 10%. From what I've gathered.
It was 5%.
Yeah, somewhere between, I've seen different things, somewhere between 1 and 10%, not a lot.
Yeah, the most common one I've seen is 5%.
Of the, money from the movies themselves.
Yeah.
But then Disney had all or most, depending on which report you're looking at, all or most of the merchandise.
Yes.
Sales.
I know that one is true, 100% of merchandising did go to Disney. Not Marvel now, Disney.
Yeah. Now, the thing that I found interesting is, so they came to, after, the movies did so successful, they came to, Disney came to Sony and was like, listen, they're doing great now, we want 50%. And of course, Disney has more money already, so I mean, you can argue that it wasn't necessary for them to need that, but whatever. 50%. But they said, we want this. And Sony goes, no, you have 100% of all merchandise. We only have the money from the movies off of it. It's our product. And you want to take more from it, even though it's rightfully ours. And we don't agree with it. And they were like, we don't want to do this. If you want to rework your thought process, then we'll talk more about it, but we're not going to do that. And then apparently Disney was like, no, we're not going to do that. And so then Sony says, okay, well, we're pulling out of the deal then because we don't have to be a part of this. We don't want that. You guys have been happy forever for this percentage. And that's, you came to us and said that's all you wanted. Yeah. You said, please, that's all we wanted.
Yeah, I think where that comes into it, I'm pretty sure the initial deal was struck with Marvel. That it was Kevin Feige and the Marvel higher-ups that struck that initial deal. But from what I've read, the new deal, the 50% deal, Marvel wasn't a part of that negotiation. Apparently that was all Disney.
Yeah, and
that Kevin Feige got a phone call and was told that Spider-Man's out. And I fully believe that. I feel like Kevin Feige would hands down go, yeah, 5%. That's good.
Yeah.
Because he wouldn't give a crap, he just wants Spider-Man.
Yeah, I saw it was, the reason why I'm saying 10% is because I saw something about Sony saying that they had only 90% of the
I know that Sony nearly.
So unless it was 5% like Marvel themselves and then 5% Disney.
It could have been that because I know Marvel themselves got 5%.
Yeah. So then it's probably 5% Disney, 5% Marvel. So yeah, then of course Disney wanted more. Yeah. That's not enough for them.
But all in all, I'm pretty sure when it came to solo movies, Sony got nearly all of the money. The amount of money that they lost from it was minuscule in comparison to how much money it was making.
Yeah, I think just based on what I saw, there's a lot of people going around saying boycott Sony. It's Sony's fault, and I think that's now that we've done more research and we're seeing more stuff on it. I think a lot of people need to start looking at both sides because it's both sides' fault.
Both
It's Disney
people are the issue.
and Sony
Yeah.
are causing issues.
And people need to clarify that because I see Kevin Feige and Marvel executives and writers and directors getting a lot of hate for it.
No, but they don't have any control over
This was
that.
not Marvel Studios. That's something that
No.
needs to be very clear.
They can't.
This was Disney.
Disney is the one that would the thing is, even if Marvel wanted to do that, they wouldn't have been able to do it unless Disney said they could.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. Like, it's not like Marvel could have been like, listen, we want 50% because it's our character or something like that.
Yeah.
But then Disney would just be like, no, you're gonna make our deal fall. Like, we don't want that. Like, it has nothing to do with that. No one in Marvel wants to see they just want to create their products.
Yeah. Like,
really.
Kevin Feige really doesn't give a crap about money. You could watch a million interviews with Kevin Feige. And whenever anyone mentions, oh, this made $1 billion, it's always, yeah, it's pretty cool. But, and then he'll go talk about what they want to do next.
Like,
he never gave a crap about the money. Like, he's very
maybe
much,
some actors do, but then you can look at Tom Holland and like,
he doesn't give a crap.
Cares about the acting aspect in playing these characters.
He just loves being Spider-Man. He doesn't care past that, which makes it even more sad.
Yeah,
But
well,
yeah, both people are at fault.
As of right now, though, based on this the information we had, that Spider-Man is going to be solely a Sony thing, which means
They pretty much said he's 100% going to cross over with Tom Hardy's Venom now.
Yeah. I mean, great. That's going to be awesome. It's going to suck, though, because Marvel gave so much, like,
Kevin
did so much to...
It's like you can give as much credit as you want to Sony, but Kevin Feige was executive producer on every single one of Spider-Man's movies.
Yeah.
And the creative team behind the Spider-Man movies, a lot of them came from Marvel.
Yeah. And let's be honest. Venom, not a bad movie.
Yeah, it was by no means bad, but it wasn't great either.
Definitely not Spider-Man level of quality, I feel like.
If I had to choose, if I could watch Far From Home again or Venom again, I'd watch Far From Home again.
Oh, yeah.
I thought Far From Home was a really good Spider-Man movie.
So good.
And you can see the direction they're going with it, from Homecoming to Far From Home. You see him growing into, like, comic Spider-Man.
Yeah, exactly.
He isn't that Spider-Man yet.
No.
That he's only getting there.
Now, some people are theorizing that this is a good thing, though, because then they can turn Spider-Man even more into what he should be.
Yeah, like a truer Spider-Man.
Which is, like, kind of like a little bit... The beginning of Spider-Man's life, people have to remember that Spider-Man was very... First of all, he's poor.
Yeah.
Spider-Man did not have a lot of money.
Oh,
so having Tony Stark's stuff given to him and all this ability that he can do this stuff, that's not how Spider-Man was originally, like, designed in any aspect. No. Everything that he had to figure out himself. Up until adulthood, he was poor. He was a neighborhood Spider-Man that did
in the comics, it wasn't until he became an adult and actually became a scientist, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he didn't even make his money in the comics. Because his body was taken over by Doc Ock.
No, that's even later comics.
And then he made a company, and then he had money.
Like the normal like the original Spider-Man, and then the Amazing Spider-Mans. That was all just him doing stuff in a suit, not having a lot of money, just doing what he did. Yeah. He made money. He made additional pocket money when he was that age, selling photos to a journal for a decent price because, like, obviously it was Spider-Man photos, but. That was how he made his money. Like, that's not living big.
No, I remember, I think it was a panel from the Civil War comics, I think. And I think it's when Spider-Man joins Iron Man's side. It's literally a panel with Spider-Man has his head on Iron Man's chest. And he's like, is there money involved? And Iron Man goes, yes. And like he puts his head on Iron Man's chest and goes, oh, thank God.
Yeah. Like it's a thing where, yeah, that part was... We understood the arc that they wanted to go through with the sort of like father-son relationship with Iron Man and stuff like that.
And I still feel like Marvel were going to go there, because obviously Iron Man's gone now.
Yeah, but
Peter Parker's
he still has all of those assets that were available to him, which is weird because if you watch the first Spider-Man movie, they kind of make a point of showing, oh, look at Aunt May doesn't have a lot of money, and like they're living in like a rundown place, but then all of a sudden Tony Stark's giving him enough money for suits and all this shit, and it's just like, I would have liked it, you know, it was cool. I liked that he walked around at first wearing his stupid suit and then he got an awesome suit.
Yeah.
Cool. Super awesome. But I think, you know, that was them trying to they were like, we have to, you know, we've already got him going in these other movies. We have to transition him into someone with a suit that's iconic.
Yeah.
They need to see the iconic suit. Because they were like, oh, if people see him in his little handmade shit suit.
Yeah, I suppose so, because that's my biggest issue with like the Raimi movies, was that Peter Parker, literally, he makes the suit in his room. And now, you could be really creative. I've seen some amazing cosplayers out there.
Yeah.
But I could never imagine someone in their room buying stuff online in the early 2000s. And making that kind of suit. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like...
Like, now he could do something like that because also they did a good job of making... they've done a really good job of making, you know, Peter Parker smart, intelligent like he's supposed to be, knows quite a lot of things, but not like too much.
He's not a genius, but he's smart. He's still a dumb kid at the end of the day.
He's a dumb kid, but he has a lot of knowledge on certain things. And so, you know, like, yeah, he could be smart enough to do like certain things like that. You know, he made his web blasters himself and he did stuff like that. That's cool. But like now let's bring him back to his roots of what Spider-Man's roots are. If he's not going to be in the MCU, I'm fine with him not being in the MCU.
But actually, now that you mentioned that, I remembered. Kevin Feige, before this happened, it was after Far From Home. He told what the pitch was for Spider-Man 3. He said what his view for it is that it was going to be a purely Peter Parker based movie. That there was going to be no aliens or robots. There was going to be no big bad guy. That it was just going to be Peter Parker dealing with the aftermath of Far From Home. And that it was just going to be him. That's what the movie was going to be, which gives me the vibe that they're going to do 3 movies. And then by the end of the 3rd one, he was going to be Spider-Man.
Yeah, because he's going to be,
he'd have like his handmade suit and.
Yeah, because he would have been called out for what he had.
Yeah.
Like what he had done, like people knew who he was.
And because of that, he probably wouldn't be able to go to, you know, the Avengers or Stark Industries for help because of that.
So I mean,
you can see the direction that they were going with it.
My biggest issue now with the Sony thing is what are they going to do? Are they going to keep following up with that storyline in some way? They can still try and like have it play into that. They just can't use any reference.
Yeah. Tom Holland said that a completely different story has been picked.
So the first 2 movies
mean nothing.
Are going to be irrelevant, and it's going to be as if they never happened.
It's the only way they could do it.
If that's what's happening, I will not watch these movies.
It's the only way.
I'm not watching Spider-Man start off again.
Like, think about it. Can you imagine Spider-Man Homecoming without Tony Stark in it?
Yeah, I can. Just don't mention it.
But can you though?
Homecoming? Like, no.
Yeah.
No.
Homecoming.
That was how it was.
Far From Home.
No, with the MCU, with the MCU characters in it, I can't. But if you're gonna make new movies, you can make no reference to the stuff.
Exactly. It's like, that's fine.
Except for the story.
You could do that. No, they can't even mention, like, any previous stuff. They can't mention the MCU whatsoever. So Mysterio as a character, his motivation was, screw you, Tony Stark. They can't have that motivation. Vulture's motivation of, you know, stealing Stark tech and his super meta Stark tech, that's gone.
But is there no way that they could...
Happy Hogan and Aunt May, that's gone.
Is there in no way where they can just be like, oh, I dealt with some stuff and now I'm back to this. I mean, they're not going to have...
They physically cannot mention any MCU characters by name. They can hint at it.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, they can only...
They can make hints at stuff. The thing is though,
they can't
what's
name.
MCU characters then? What is going to be considered that? What part is the Sony-owned aspect of it, and what part is MCU?
Sony owns pretty much Spider-Man and the villains. The Spider-Man's name,
not even all
and the villains.
Only
names.
some of the villains that are Spider-Man related specifically.
Some of Spider-Man's villains, yeah. That's it. That's all they own. They own Spider-Man's little world. But the thing is, MCU Spider-Man's world has been so intertwined with the MCU itself. Ripping it out, you're gonna lose a lot of stuff.
Then they're gonna have to think of something to at least come up with a deal to be able to use some of the stuff, because I'm not watching another origin story and another creation of...
Yeah, because the thing is, the MCU can very much just wish away Spider-Man and no one would really notice.
Yeah.
They could just go like, oh, after Tony Stark's death, a lot of people couldn't bring themselves to step back up to that line.
Yeah.
And that just kind of imply Peter Parker there. Boom, done. Doesn't matter. We have a million other characters to fill that gap.
Yeah, I don't know. Overall, it's a weird thing, and we're gonna have to just see where it leads, because it's going to be too difficult to kind of predict right now until we get more information on what's actually going to happen.
Yeah. But speaking of all the characters that they could fill that gap with, At D23, there was also a plethora of announcements, both Marvel and otherwise.
Some of them interesting, some of them...
Yeah. So while on the topic of Marvel, we got a release date for Black Panther 2, which is May 6th, 2022.
Quite a while away, but...
It's going to be written and directed by Ryan Coogler again, which is...
That's good.
It's a very good thing. I look forward to that. It's going to be interesting.
That's actually really far away, isn't it?
Yeah.
It took him a long time to...
It's like 3 years away.
And that's added on to it was released in 2018? 17?
18.
18, yeah.
Yeah, because...
Beginning of 2018, wasn't it? Somewhere near the front end of it.
the front, yeah.
So that's 4 years.
That's going to be interesting. I suppose it gives them time to make it good.
Yeah.
They also announced a bunch of new Disney Plus stuff for Marvel, including Ms. Marvel, She-Hulk, and Moon Knight. All of which I'm quite excited for, actually, because She-Hulk's never gotten a proper adaptation in anything. So that'll be interesting. She is a lawyer.
I mean, it is super cool. I was saying to you, like, it's cool that they're gonna, like, finally have some of these characters that have gotten no time at all in anything other than the comics, and they are not really super well known, but they're well known enough. It's cool that they're gonna be doing this. The thing that bothers me, though, is, like, why are we getting a She-Hulk show before we get an actual Hulk show? That She-Hulk is a side character from the Hulk universe. Yeah. So... why are we getting She-Hulk when we haven't had any actual standalone of the current?
Yeah, we haven't had a standalone Mark Ruffalo Hulk yet.
No,
even though the Ed Norton Hulk is technically canon,
which
it's still like give us one at Mark Ruffalo though.
Yeah, because he's the actual.
He is the Hulk now. Yeah,
and we could get a show with him. I think he would do good with that. I think he would do good. He'd
do a really good job, especially with how the Hulk is now and after.
Yeah,
you could have Professor really Hulk now, so it could be really interesting. You could introduce, like, Red Hulk and stuff like that.
In a good way?
In a good way. You could bring back Abomination in a good way. Like, there's so much they could do, but...
whatever.
Maybe they will do it with She-Hulk.
Maybe he'll have parts in that.
Maybe he will. Yeah, then as well, Ms. Marvel. Don't know if you know who she is. She's a really weird hero. Really strange powers. I don't even know. She's kind of, like, stretchy almost. It's weird.
Oh, yeah. She's kind of like, she's kind of like a Elasta girl or whatever.
Yeah. What I'm excited about with her is that it will be the first live action adaptation of a teenage Muslim hero. Miss Marvel is openly Muslim, I believe.
Is she really? That's interesting.
If I'm not mistaken, yeah.
A fictional superhero appearing in Khan.
Yeah, Kamala Khan.
Khan is Marvel's first Muslim character to headline in her own comic book.
Yeah.
Cool.
So that would be very interesting.
And they're actually using a Muslim.
That hasn't been a cast yet, I think, but more than likely, yeah.
I mean, you'd sure hope so that they'd at least. I mean, if it's something that's relevant to the storyline, I'm assuming it has to have some part to it.
Like that's her big thing, you know. Yeah, she's a Pakistani American.
Cool.
And she's from New Jersey.
Ooh, Jersey. That's gonna be good if they do this right. If they do this right, it's good.
This could go really, really well.
It's funny because you're going to have people that are like, oh, why are we getting these different
That's why I'm excited
cultures?
For it, really. That's why I'm excited for it, because I know it's just going to stir the pot of assholes. It's like everything with Brie Larson's Captain Marvel. It's like...
what is I want to see what her actual powers are. Like, give me a...
I'm pretty sure she has some form of shape-shifting. Their abilities. She has a healing factor and she can shape-shift.
Okay, so she can turn her body into shit.
Pretty much her body.
Kind of like stretchy, but also like...
yeah. She can do whatever she wants with her body, pretty much.
Interesting.
Yeah.
She makes her fist big.
That's like her go-to thing.
So she's stretchy. Her body can morph.
Yeah.
A lot.
Pretty much.
Cool.
So I'm pretty excited for her. But then the one I'm most excited for is Moon Knight.
I know that's like a cult favorite.
Moon Knight is like one of my favorites. If you don't know Moon Knight, he's a guy who's possessed by an Egyptian moon god.
I don't know much about it.
And is their avatar on Earth and wears this like all white suit.
Yeah, I know that.
But pretty much he's mentally ill. He has like a multiple personality disorder.
Oh.
That in the original comics he just had like multiple aliases that he disguised as. But as time went on, they turned those into alternate personalities that he had. So he's mentally ill. Like he has to take like meds and stuff like that.
Jesus.
He's like completely unhinged and he's just fantastic.
Is he an anti-hero or is he just like a normal hero?
I'd say he's an anti-hero. I remember reading a panel of him talking to Spider-Man after he dressed up as Spider-Man and bet up strippers.
Oh.
The strippers were bad, but he was still beating up strippers dressed as Spider-Man.
What do you mean the strippers were bad?
They were evil strippers.
They are evil strippers.
They were evil strippers. They were fighting him.
Got it, yeah.
He was defending himself.
Defending himself from evil strippers. Got it.
Dressed as Spider-Man. Yeah. And then in his newer issues, he was actually locked up in a sale asylum. Like, he was locked up for being insane.
Cool.
And became Mr. Knight.
Mr. Knight.
Where he wears this, like, all-white suit and, like, a white mask that has his logo on his forehead. It's really cool. I love Moon Knight.
Interesting.
He's just completely off-the-wall weird. It's like, imagine Batman, but his mental illnesses were, like, the forefront of his character.
Yeah, instead of, like, the background?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that sounds interesting.
That's pretty much it.
And it's going to be a TV show, then?
It's going to be a TV show. People are believing, because he hasn't been cast yet.
Yeah.
But people think that's who Keanu Reeves is going to be.
That would be hilarious.
That he's going to be Moon Knight.
I hope that's the case.
Which I think would be fantastic.
I would love that.
And then the last bit of MCU news we got was Kit Harington, also known as Jon Snow, is joining the MCU as the character Black Knight? No. The Dark Knight. Not Batman.
No.
The Dark Knight.
Harington will play Dane Whitman, aka the Black Knight. Not to be confused with the Dark Knight.
Yeah.
The Black Knight.
Yeah.
He's playing the Black Knight.
Not the Dark Knight. Got them mixed up. It's so weird. But yeah, he's playing him in the Eternals. Black Knight is literally a knight in black armor.
Awesome.
He's super smart, but just a badass in armor with a sword.
I guess exactly what you'd expect the character that Kit Harington's going to play.
What makes me excited about this is that Michael Madden is already in Eternals. And Michael Madden, you may know, was Robb Stark in Game of Thrones as well.
So there you go. You have two people now. And I wonder how many more you can get.
Yeah. So we have two Starks sharing the screen with Angelina Jolie.
There you go.
If you ever thought you'd hear that, you probably didn't. Because you're lying, because no one would have thought of that.
There's so many options for them to have. But after Game of Thrones ended, you had to think that all those actors are going to have to go somewhere.
Gotta go somewhere.
I think the bit of news that's exciting to me that's coming out from all this is Ewan McGregor.
Good old Ewan.
Is going to be Obi-Wan Kenobi again in another Star Wars TV show. This is like the third?
Yeah.
The third or the fourth one that they've announced. You have the
Mandalorian.
The Mandalorian. Then you have the one with the pilot from the Rebels or whatever.
I can't remember the actor's name, but I know what you're talking about.
And then they have this one. So it's three, I think. Yeah. I think that's all.
Three live actions as well as a new season of Clone Wars.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting for. So yeah, he's gonna be the actor has said for years he's been returned. So yeah, he basically is like, cool, it's gonna be taking place between the events of Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope. So it's going to be literally after dealing with Anakin.
Yeah.
And then before going to be a reclusive hermit in the sands of Tatooine.
Which, if you've read like the extended lore stuff about Obi-Wan,
apparently he's done a lot.
There is some good shit in that little time period.
So much for that stuff being non-canon anymore.
A lot of it is just they're pretty much making a lot of it canon again.
That's good. They're probably using it for their own canon. They're changing some stuff.
Yeah, they're picking and choosing what they want, which I think is good.
Yeah.
Which I'm all for. I'm really excited for this, though.
Yeah, I'm going to be super excited. I love Ewan McGregor, and he's going to be super good.
Yeah.
Like it's going to be so good because him as Obi-Wan Kenobi was one of the most, like, when I see his character, like in anything, like a GIF, a video of Obi-Wan, I picture his face and I see like everything that he's done and I immediately know what's going on. I immediately know what it's from. I know what he's about. I know what he's doing. I know what he's going to sound like.
And just for the character, he was like the best cast you could have gotten.
It was literally the best cast that you could have gotten.
Yeah, so I'm really excited to see him in a show that's going to take place at that time period.
Right.
Especially with spoilers if you haven't seen Solo.
I have not.
You have not seen Solo?
I have not seen Solo.
You have not seen Solo. Well, slight spoiler for this. It's very minor, but very major. It's going to impact this, I think. We got the canon confirmation that Darth Maul did survive.
Okay,
is alive in the live action.
That was a non-canon thing anyway, so
he is 100%.
That's something that became non-canon. One of the extended universe stuff.
But they confirmed that he is indeed alive. And I'm pretty sure in the extended universe stuff, he does try hunt down Obi-Wan.
Oh yeah, and he ends up having
Like, a lot.
spider legs at one point,
Yeah.
like robotic spider legs.
I'm pretty sure
and
they
he's,
went
like,
through all of that
crazy.
in the Clone Wars, didn't they?
What do you mean?
Didn't they do all that? There was a big Darth Maul arc in Clone Wars, I think. Or was it Rebels? There's something up, but he was in one of them.
Yeah, there was in one. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, where he came back, he's like, he actually was the badass that he was supposed to be, and he was doing a lot more stuff. It was Clone Wars or Rebels, I think it was Clone Wars.
It was one of them.
But yeah, I mean, and then I guess the last piece of thing added on to that, since it's Star Wars related, is you were going to quickly go over the new Star Wars trailer without going into spoiler territory for those of us that don't want to hear about.
I will say at the start that in the trailer, at the very end of it, the last 2 seconds of it, in traditional Star Wars trailer fashion reveals quite a big thing.
Too much. Something that makes it so when you watch it it makes you excited because you want to see it.
Yeah, it makes you go, oh my god, that they're actually doing this? Like, what?
Yeah, but then you go to the theater.
And it's like, well, I knew this was coming.
Yeah. It's kind of like what our pal Corey was saying last time he was on, how he never, it made him not excited for Star Wars. And
Like
now
the example he used was the helmet reveal, wasn't it?
Yeah. And I'm assuming this is probably something very similar.
Yeah.
I was disgusted when I went to the movie and the trailer, and then I heard what sounded to be no confirm or denying from anybody, but Emperor Palpatine laughing. I was like, Emperor Palpatine's gonna be back. And I was like, wait, no. That's not what it is it?
It's like, I won't say anything, but like that's a pretty good example of it.
Yeah.
But if you don't want any more of that, i.e. any more Palpatine stuff, any more spoiler stuff, just avoid this trailer as much as you can.
All right.
You'll probably have a hard time avoiding it. You'll probably get the frame that I'm talking about spoiled on Instagram or Twitter.
I've seen some pictures that I scroll past and I don't look at it anymore into it. But kind of talk about your feelings about the trailer real quick for everyone though that doesn't want spoilers on it and to watch it themselves, but maybe wants to kind of a little bit more information.
I will say if you're going to watch anything, watch like the first 20 seconds of it because it starts with a montage of all the Star Wars movies in order. Well, the Skywalker movies.
Right.
So it starts with like episode 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, and then the 2 new ones. And it just shows clips of them with this really nice music playing in the background. It's really like pulls on your heartstrings.
Yeah. I think I saw that bit on something before.
Yeah. It just makes you feel really good. And then you jump into the trailer, you get your traditional, your action shots, your cool scenes, lightsabers been turned on, stuff you'd expect in a Star Wars trailer. But then the entire time you're getting this kind of vibe from it, where you look at, say, the trailer for, what was it? It was The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. They very much just felt like Star Wars trailers.
Yeah.
This one kind of felt like there was something else to it.
Okay.
That it started off with a really hopeful montage, and then you got the traditional stuff, but it felt like there was this underlying tone throughout the entire thing of like uneasiness. Like something wasn't,
negativity.
Like something wasn't right. Not in the sense that the trailer was bad,
no,
or like it was put together bad, or like, oh, this is going to be a bad movie. But like the actual story and the feel of it kind of made you feel uneasy because you had the really nice music playing over the montage, and then it swells up, it gets louder, and the bass is increased. And instead of it being that really inspiring, like, jump up that Star Wars trailers always have, it just kind of raises up and simmers. So it makes you kind of feel like, gives you a little bit of feel in your stomach, which I think is a tell for the movie to come. If you watch the trailer, you'd know why the music makes you uneasy when you pay attention to some things. And if you're well-knowledged in Star Wars, you'll pick up on a lot of stuff.
And this is supposed to be the end of the Skywalker arc, right?
This is it for the Skywalkers. This is 100% it. They said they're never going back to them.
I'm excited.
So, I'm really excited. Even though I've seen the trailer, and the big twist has probably been spoiled for me, I hope there's another twist. But I'm genuinely, like, it gives me jitters. That's...
When is it out? When is this movie out?
December 9th, I believe.
Oh god, I just have to last another 4 months.
Yeah, I cannot wait. I'm beyond excited for it.
Well, I'm excited now too, and I'm sure everyone else is that listen to that. And if you want to see the trailer, check it out. You can check it out on YouTube, and I'm sure that you'll...
Yeah, but at your own risk.
Yeah. It depends on how big you are on movie spoilers, yeah?
If you want to avoid the bit that I'm talking about, you'd want to turn it off the last 10 to 15 seconds. You'll want to cut the trailer off. Because it's literally the last frame and it's about 2 to 3 seconds long.
Okay, yeah.
So you'd want to give yourself a good 10 to 15 seconds just to make sure that you miss it.
Yeah.
If you want to do that, I'd say go ahead and do it. There's nothing really major before that. It's just that last bit that,
Okay.
in traditional trailer fashion, the last second spoils everything.
Well, thank you so much for letting us know about the trailer. It's going to be a great time, just like this podcast was a great time.
It was a fantastic time.
That's it for this week's podcast. If you want to check us out on our social medias, be sure to check out The Geek Cause on Twitter, Facebook,
Instagram.
Something else I'm sure that we're on as well.
There probably
YouTube.
YouTube, yeah.
That you can listen to it on there if you want to check it out. It has links to other stuff. We also have a Discord channel. It is going to be in the description, and you can also find it on any of our social medias. And then me and Kyle stream. Kyle's been
I'm still in the process of getting it right.
in the process of getting it right.
I'm still doing my very, very late night streams to adjust things. I do have a mic and I am working on it. I just don't put it through.
I have a friend that says that they sit in your thing and just kind of lurk around because they're like, oh yeah, it's odd. He doesn't say anything. He doesn't do anything like anything special. He doesn't really have his face cam. Doesn't have a mic. But I just put myself in there so that way at least he has a viewer. And I'm like, oh
yeah. I'm literally just making stuff work right.
Mm-hmm.
I want to have it make sense, work.
Right.
Because I only ever do it through, I'm either calling someone or I'm in a party chat when I do it.
Yeah.
And I put the stream up so they can just see my POV. That's usually what I do. So, hopefully, I think I've got it all sorted. I think I got it all sorted the last time. So, possibly, end of this week, I'll have an actual stream. At normal times.
The thing is your time, if you're starting at 2, it's perfect for, people that, in the US that are going to be
That's what I was thinking.
But, I would still say maybe if you still want to do it late, maybe start at 11 or 12, so that way you're at least getting them in the late afternoon, later day, the evening instead of midnight. but yeah, it's we're on Mixer. We got the Geek Cause Kyle and the Geek Cause Cody on Mixer. Check us out.
Something we need to do is we need to play some Minecraft, man.
Oh, we do need to play some Minecraft.
That's something we got to do.
Something. Maybe you need to try. You need to get a computer. So
I do need to get a computer.
We can play some I like playing nice chill strategy games, but then getting really mad at them, and then I'm not chill anymore. It's one of my favorite things.
It's like a tradition.
But yeah, so if you guys want to check us out and you like what we're doing, send us a message, give us a follow, give us a like,
let us know.
Check out all the stuff and get back to us. But as for us, we're out
forever.
Until next week. Thank you guys so much for listening. We love you.
A lot.
We appreciate you.
You're the best.
And we will talk to you next week. Bye.
Bye.